Hello and welcome to another video from the fanpub.com. I'm joined again by Sean. How are you?
Yeah, very good, Al. It's good to be back and looking forward to this draft. What's the plan for this one?
Today we're in a 12-team draft. We've got draft position 2 and we're going to do our zero wide receiver strategy.
Okay, so just to quantify what that is, because obviously I do forget sometimes, it's no wide receiver chosen in the first 3 rounds, and our focus will be just grabbing the best 3 running backs that we can off the board. After we get past round 3, we'll look at probably best player available. But before we start doing the draft, I think it's really important to mention that we need your support. We do appreciate your likes, your shares, your comments, particularly on these videos. They help us want to do more videos for you and want to share the information about the game that we love. Please do whatever you can to do that. It does make a difference.
It does help us out.
It massively helps us, and it just inspires us to go on and do more. So please remember that small little thing about liking is so important, particularly about how we feel about the videos. And we are really pleased to say the subscriber numbers are climbing, and we really have a fantastic competition for you guys when we go over 100. I know Al's looking forward to me digging deep in my pocket.
I am. I mean, it's worth making Sean spend money, surely. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's see what happens then. So, let's see which... we're bound to get a good one then at 2.
We lost Lev Bell, so we've got pick 2.
Well, I don't think there's much of a... There is a doubt at the moment, isn't there, over Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah, as we speak, there's a little cloud hanging over Zeke Elliott with the...
So, as we have this information, as much as... I'm not going to hesitate. Last year, David Johnson was a talisman for me. Obviously, I'm going to take him here. Would you agree?
I totally agree.
No debate
let's lock
on
him
that.
in. He was our number 1 last year.
He's going to get all the volume.
There's a bit of a cloud.
Do you know what he said actually as well? David Johnson said on the news last night. Actually, I was watching him live on one of the fantasy sports channels in America. He said, I really do believe I can go 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing. Well, I don't doubt it.
Oh, he's close last year, wasn't he?
You're very close. Only a few people who ever do it.
Okay, so looking at our next lots of wide receiver
this should cause some controversy. Now, I would here, looking at the board, I'm happy to say Leonard Fournette is sitting on the board here for our second running back. Now, we're going to have a bit of a discussion over this pick. I believe, as I say, Leonard Fournette...
Because we're split on 2 players here, aren't we?
I believe Leonard Fournette can comfortably get you 180 fantasy points. I think he is going to get... We talk about volume, we talk about opportunity and situation. He has all those things. Literally, the arrows are pointing in his direction for this. So I'm quietly comfortable to say, with this particular guy, the rookie, I would be prepared, as it's a draft that we are literally going chips all in on running backs. Rather than... Normally, I'm a bit hesitant on taking the rookies, but on this particular guy, I wouldn't have any doubt. Like, you will probably try now and persuade me on someone else. So give me that.
Right.
Give me that argument.
I'm just going to give you the other side of the coin.
Yeah, go for it.
I like Lamar Miller. He's a very consistent player.
I
suppose picking him in the second round is early enough. The end of the second round. Bill O'Brien's going to be calling the plays this year, and there's no Brock Osweiler, more importantly.
All right, so should we go... What you're saying here, really?
I'm happy to back you. Let's go with the new guy.
Well,
Lamar Miller may or may not lose his job with Dante Foreman.
It's the tale of tape. I mean, the one thing I will say is let's play safe. For this 0RB, let us just go with the steady hand over the youthful hand. I will give you the Lamar Miller.
No, I don't mind Fournette because... And you know he's going to get opportunity. I'm not badly keen on the offense, but
well, I think the defense creates more opportunities.
He's got more chance of keeping his job than
without doubt.
Miller. So that's probably is a safer pick, actually.
Okay, so we're going to take the risk and go with Fournette. It is a risk. There are some risks involved with the rookie, but we think the volume's there to warrant this risk. And he's our second round pick. So based on my metrics, we're looking for 180.
And we've still got Lamar Miller there, right?
So
let's look at our choices.
That's actually worked out very well then.
We've actually got choices. Now, we talked about Crowell in our podcast, and the thing with Crowell is he's got every chance of expanding his role, and his yards per carry were good last year.
Yep.
But I still think they're going to be behind.
The inconsistency is the problem, and it is Cleveland. And I think the inconsistency stays for at least another season.
What you had with Crowell last year, he was either getting 20 points or he's getting 2, and that really hurts you because you don't know when to play. And
I can't trust as much as I like. I'm a big fan of Joe Mixon for this year. It is round 3. It is a round I'd be prepared to roll the dice. I've already taken a rookie, so I'm not going to advise that we do that. So I'm only going to have one. I've gone with a guy with the top of the tree. I'm quite happy to take Lamar Miller here. I mean,
I don't mind Carlos Hyde either. Who would you prefer at the 2?
I would prefer to go with Carlos Hyde because I just think with the change of management at the top kind of thing, coaching staff change, I got a feeling that he's going to be relevant in that offense, whether there's a bit of a split or whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, so we know Kyle Shanahan. We look what he done for the running backs of Atlanta.
Yeah. I'm quite comfortable, and I think they're in
There's
a division
two there who were top 12.
they're in a division which I kind of like. I like the schedule they've got. I like the situation they've got. It's in round 3. You know, he got 170 last year. We're only asking for 160. I think there's more work for him this year, funny enough, and I think he doesn't need as much opportunity to be relevant. So
we appreciate there's a bit of a risk, with the injury side, but Shanahan's offenses produce good running back numbers, and that's something that's happened. Even with Alfred Morris at Washington, we're going to lock him in.
Yeah, we are, and just to quantify all of that, just to make it really clear as well, we had a rookie pick. So we weren't prepared to take 2. And I think that's important. Yeah. If you're going to take a risk, don't overdo it in your hand. Don't have too many of them. Just sprinkle 1 or 2 in over the course of your draft, but play it a little bit safe. Right. Okay, so now we're in a situation where we can look at the best available. And guess who's... Evervessen is still on the board here. Look at the quarterbacks. We've got Andrew Luck sitting there.
I don't know. I don't mind waiting on a quarterback.
In this draft, because we've gone 0 RB, we're going to sit back now and wait on the quarterbacks and try and build up the other players.
We've gone 0 wide receiver.
Sorry, 0 wide receiver. I do apologise.
What about who?
Well, Crabtree's nice.
Yeah, I like Crabtree.
So I think that's perfect. I mean, he's done it the last 2 years. He's been as good as Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper will take that role over this year, but I still think
there's still good numbers for Crabtree.
Crabtree can still get his 140 plus, and at this point of the draft, that'll do just nicely.
Derek Carr's
a nice anchor, good receiver, old hand, which is what we're going to need here.
Right. Okay. So,
well, we're now in round 5, and now Andrew Luck's still sitting there.
I'd still wait.
Okay, so we've got Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah,
that's quite good. There's Tyreek Hill. We've got Larry Fitz.
Now, and Martavis. But I think Martavis might come back to us. I'd love to get him in our team.
Well, we want to get him. We think we can wait around. Okay, out of the other ones available that are above him, because we're only going to look at those. I'm going to rule out Tate and Hill. I'm going to say to you, it's either between Sanders and Fitzgerald.
In the 5th round, I don't mind taking Luck, actually, if you want to do that. So who would you take on the wide? So let's...
Well, here's my argument.
Luck would be our quarterback choice, but if we went for a wide receiver,
I'm agreeing with you. I think we can wait on quarterbacks. We've already made that decision. We waited around, and just because Luck's still there, let's just wait. Let's just build the team up. I like Emmanuel Sanders at this point of the draft, and I also like Larry Fitzgerald. The one thing about Larry Fitzgerald I love is he does really well early part of the season, the first 8 games. I kind of feel like I would want to trade him after 8 games. So I'm kind of thinking, with that team, there's no look at what the opportunity is for Larry Fitzgerald. Who's the number 2 there?
Well, it's John Brown, isn't it?
And he looks banged up. I just think there's a ton of work for Fitzgerald.
I totally agree.
So I'm quite happy to take that.
Would you take him over Sanders?
Well, Sanders is really steady. Really steady. And that's perfectly fine in a team like this as well. I have no problem with Emmanuel Sanders here. It's just that I think Fitzgerald offers more upside.
We're picking him in the 5th round, so he can easily get 140 to 160.
But Fitzgerald could exceed that. He's got a bit of a ceiling in this year, I think.
Okay, you don't have to talk me into Fitzgerald.
So solid, another veteran that we can steady the team up with, which
he's going to get loads of work, and he does it every.
Now it gets more interesting, I think, at this point of the draft.
Now.
I think
we did lose Martavis, unfortunately, so we're going to have to...
it was a gamble.
Yeah, but
you can't have everybody.
Maybe we need more solid wide receivers for this anyway.
Okay, so let's just not lose sight of whatever else is out now. Tevin Coleman is still out there as a 4th running back at this point of the draft. Look at us also is still there.
I'd like to balance the team with another wide receiver, to be honest.
So that's what we'll do. So we'll balance up.
I don't mind Golden Tate. He's not exciting, but he's still there and in the 7th round or
it's pretty
end
good.
Of the 6th round.
Jamison Crowder excites me.
I like a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to go with him. I'd like to go with the ceiling guy here.
Yeah.
Jamison
Crowder. They've been talking him up in off-season.
Yeah, just because at this point of the draft, look, you said it yourself, 7 rounds in, 12 teams. I mean, that is an exciting looking team.
Yeah.
That's a good, exciting wide receiver. I'd love to see him in the slot for us. He's a flex player.
We've still got the choice of Tevin Coleman if we want.
Well, that's very, very powerful. I mean, let's think about this. He scored over 140 last year in fantasy points, wasn't it? Or was it close to 160?
It was 160.
I mean,
plus he missed 3 games.
I mean, that to me is pretty good.
It's whether you think he can keep those numbers up.
I think they're going to get equal split of work, so I think he can.
The other option is we could go for, Kirk Cousins and have him and Crowder in a stack. That's an interesting thing you could do.
Yep.
Stefan Diggs is still there. I quite like him.
Yep. I'm all right with. I'm all right with.
Would you take Tevin Coleman, another running back?
I would, yeah, because look at our 3 running backs. Let's look at something here that could happen. All right, let's say
David Fournette does bust.
let's say we agree David Johnson, unless the unforeseen injury happens, he's a stud. Yeah, top draw player. We take Carlos Hyde. We're okay with him. We're not saying he's mega exciting, but he's steady, and we believe we'll get production. The one player we still would have to give question marks on is the rookie. So to cover the rookie, we take Tevin Coleman just in case.
Well, I'm just cover Carlos Hyde
in case anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
So I think we will never get another chance to do this, and it would be handy to have that 4th guy.
I mean, his consensus ranking is 56, and we're taking him at about 74 or something.
That's incredibly
like that.
good value.
You know, you can't argue with that.
And he has actually been surprisingly dropping in ADP lists, which
I
is
can see that because it's whether he can repeat those numbers. I mean, he is the second RB there, isn't he? So
yeah.
Okay. It's
Well,
offering us a tight end. I don't think we're interested in that.
Well, the quarterback's quite nice.
Yeah, the quarterback Mariota.
That's very good, and also nice that it's a late round buy, 8 weeks in. That's quite nice as well.
There's also Eric Decker, who's very late.
That's actually very good value for our draft. Actually, Eric Decker.
There's also Pirine, who we like.
Oh, now
Derrick Henry and Matt Forte.
Now we got some choices here. Now, do we think that one of those running backs comes back to us? I suspect not.
Well, one of these 3, Forte, Pirine, or Henry, probably will.
I'd like to get one of them, so I'd prefer to take a wide receiver here if we could to keep more back. I would like one of those guys. Do you like Decker?
But also, Decker, Macklin, or Wallace could get back to us.
Yeah.
Coleman a bit worried about the injuries.
Yeah.
Same with Jordan Matthews. There's tendinitis in the knee.
I'm willing to avoid those. I think for me it's between Decker and Wallace here. If I was going to take one of those. Okay, so we need to make a decision. What do you think?
I would personally take Decker, but we might get Wallace as well later.
Well,
on.
we're gonna the way we're gonna look at this obviously.
Deshaun Jackson's too boom or bust. You want consistency in your team.
We know we want to target one of those running backs. We think one falls to us.
Some might do all right.
I think looking at the numbers, I think we should just go with one of those players. Well, we've already got. I mean, Garcon is pretty good, but again, do you not consider him a little bit boom or bust? You know, Garcon, do you think he's solid?
Actually, I think it's pretty solid. But
so
it's San Francisco. With Shanahan there, I've got more faith in that offense.
I like the Eric Decker situation though.
Yeah,
a lot more in the slot.
Eric Decker's been there and done it. He's going far too low.
He's a good red zone target.
He's bye week. We've got a few.
I'm not worried about that.
No, okay.
I'm not worried about the bye weeks because by week 8 things will have changed.
Yeah, you know it always happens every year in fantasy.
So we're not going to worry about that. And we've still got Mariota. There's a stack.
He's really hard to turn down at this point.
Now I don't think we can turn him
down. And now
there's
a big drop to Dak at QB 13.
No, I think we take Mariota. It's too valuable. Look, if you look what's behind on that quarterback list.
The same 3 things are there. Pirine, let's take Mariota.
We've got to take Mariota. It's just it's
in the 9th round.
I mean, look, it's a running quarterback. Yeah, he's on an improving team.
He's bye week.
Well, we can live with it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not worried about that. We may still get one of those running backs.
No.
They've all gone. Okay.
They've all gone.
Well, that's life. We look at other things.
Well,
we're at a point, it's upside.
We went running back heavy early on, so we've still got Mike Wallace there if we want him.
Yeah, that seems too good to pass up, quite frankly.
Yeah,
I don't think we could pass him up.
So we not hesitate?
Just take him, lock him, and then we'll see what.
By week 10, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, like you say, the team will have changed.
Things will have happened. Injuries will kick in, and various other things will change.
We're not worried about Macklin really messing.
Well, here's some opportunities. This is intriguing. Let's have a look at this then. So, Jamal Williams. You were looking for upside players. There's a great upside for a running back.
Do you know who else I like though?
Yeah, go on.
Joe Williams, because we've got Hyde. Something happens to Hyde.
Yeah, you've got to have the other guy.
Joe Williams.
It's cheap enough in this draft.
Shanahan showed he'll use rookies because he used Alfred Morris in Washington.
You're saying he could be relevant year 1. So he could
especially if our Hyde goes down.
Yeah, we need to cover it. And he has got injury. He has had injury issues, and
we know that.
And there are some running backs. I was saying this in the other video where I want to kind of cover them, and I agree with you. Hyde is one.
I think if we didn't have Hyde, then Jamal Williams would probably be the pick. But because we've got Hyde, then Joe Williams might be.
And I don't think we want to risk it coming back that we get. I don't think we're going to play it too cool. I think we should just lock him into the team.
I think we've got enough wide receivers now with Crowder, Decker, Wallace. I mean, we've also got Crabtree and Fitzgerald.
It's pretty solid. Okay, lock it in. Let's cover it.
We've got a decent quarterback.
Yeah, let's cover that. Let's cover Hyde just to be sure that we can keep the number 1 numbers rolling in. I'd feel very happy with this team.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
so now we can really go anywhere we like. Well, look at this. Terrell Williams is sitting there.
No brainer.
No, you can't turn
Absolutely
that down.
No brainer.
Add him on your team.
He's going far too low.
And
Don't be scared by Mike Williams because they've almost pretty much said that it's going to be Terrell Williams is going to be a lock. And he was great last year, 160 points. We're getting him in there.
His current ADP?
His consensus here is, he's 154 is consensus.
That's ridiculously low.
It's far too low.
That's just such good value.
The expert consensus is 124.
That still seems very low to me because he's a potential.
We're picking him in the 12th round. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'll lock him in. That looks good. Okay, so now we need to think about. Well, this is good. We need a tight end. You've got Kobe Fleener sitting there. I don't think I'd hesitate here.
He's actually on your deep sleeper list, isn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate.
We're not expecting mega things from any tight end if you're not picking.
He finished
Gronk,
12th. So. It was a disappointing year.
Yeah. So he's still tight end one in a 12-team league.
He finished 12th. It was a disappointing year. Can he have an uplift and maybe move up 4 or 5 places?
Yeah, second year on the team.
We haven't wasted a high pick on him. Yeah.
Breeze is going to throw all day. He throws masses of yards.
Yeah. And not only that, they have Michael Thomas, but they really haven't got anybody else. So I think he's got to come into it more now.
Okay.
So we're in a good spot. We've got one bench spot to fill, a defence and a kicker, and we'll wait on those. Is there anybody out there, anything deep that you want to take a shot on or a punt? I mean, Ted Ginn's there. That's always a bit boom or bust, but quite nice for flex play. Anybody that you think, you know what, that's a rookie that I really fancy that I want to put at the end. I mean, nothing really stands out, but I quite like that. Deontay Foreman. I mean, just purely to the backup to Lamar Miller. If anything happens to Lamar Miller and you could be sitting with a number one running back this late in the draft as one of our last picks, it kind of seems...
Same thing with James Conner.
Yeah.
If something happens to Lev Bell.
Do you know, with the metrics you shared the other day about James Conner being one of those players that chap had identified as a good candidate, let's lock James Conner in. Let's go with a piece of advice.
I mean, Chris Thompson's going to get you 6 points a week. He's a pass catching back for Washington. He's never going to be the runner.
This is our last pick. I want some excitement. I want to see if
you're looking for upside at this point.
If anything happens to Lev Bell, wouldn't it be nice to have a potential 3-down back? Let's go with that.
Yeah, look at D'Angelo Williams when he came in last year for Lev Bell.
It's a shot to nothing. If 4 or 5 weeks go into the season, there might be players you want to cut. This could be one of them.
I mean, the upside on him is much better than anyone else left, I think.
Okay, so let's lock him in, and then we'll pick our best defense and kicker available. Any particular orders to this, or you don't really care at this point?
I'd go defense first, probably.
Okay, yeah, agree.
I might not even draft a kicker a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Unless you have to.
Yeah. All right, let's assume it for this instance we have to, which we will. So let's just take the best defense. I mean, Minnesota looked good value.
Yeah.
I mean, they started red hot last year, and then once people found out there wasn't really much of a running game, the ethos changed. But I think that's different this year. So I think they'd have a better chance to continue.
I'm happy. It's as good as any, to be honest.
Yeah. And now kicker, it's whoever's there, really. What are our choices? Just for interest. Is there anybody?
We're just waiting for it to tick on at the moment. Right. Cairo Santos.
I wouldn't even hesitate. I'd take the top guy because it's Kansas. They don't always punch the ball in. There are question marks over the team. So there may be more opportunities to kick field goals. It comes down to that, really, doesn't it?
I mean, one thing you can do, remember, is wait. I mean, if you're not bothered about your kicker, you can wait and pick somebody else that might help your team.
Might be, particularly if you're drafting.
We're drafting in July, so a lot can change. So it's best to have people on your list.
Better to have another lottery shot than have a kicker sitting on the
so Deontay Foreman's still there, Ted Ginn's still there, Josh Jackson. I mean, if Lamar Miller got injured in pre-season or something, Deontay Foreman's suddenly
skyrocket into the second.
Could be an RB1 or RB2.
Yes.
We've also got Ivory, would be our cuff, but not really a fan of his. Jeremy McNichols is another one that interests me, but I'd probably go with Foreman above him. Wouldn't you?
Okay, yeah, I would.
Should we lock him in?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, don't be afraid not to.
You
can pick up a kick it.
It's a good piece of advice because this is what happens often. People do draft before, and it gave us an A-. That's a good score. 90 out.
Because we didn't pick a kicker.
We didn't pick a kicker. 90 out of 100. They like the team overall, which is good, and I agree with it. I mean, if we go through the depth, we've got Marcus Mariota. We're not backing him up because he's a quality quarterback. We believe by week 8 we can find someone on the stream to get.
Yeah, and in the 12-team league, there's going to be plenty of people.
Out there. Not everybody's going to take 2.
You can pick up an Andy Dalton or somebody later on if you want to.
Well, David Johnson's a real stud. We've gambled a little bit with Leonard Fournette, but we have certainly backed it up. We've got Carlos Hyde. We've got who else? Have we got a running back that we can use?
We have got
Tevin Coleman.
Yeah. We've got Joe Williams from San Francisco.
So we've taken a few calculated risks.
James Conner. So we've got a few rookies in here, really. Yeah. That could give your team.
But we picked them late, mostly.
Yeah. So they could when your team, if you're heading towards the playoffs,
Yeah.
These players can give you a big boost going into it.
Which is
what you want to be looking for.
And that's what separates wins and losses, really, at the end of the day. It's the small uplifts will make all the difference. So what do you think of the draft? That's the key here.
I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, wide receivers obviously is where we might struggle, but we got solid ones. We got Crabtree and Fitzgerald.
You're never going to be disappointed with Fitzgerald where you got him. Crabtree will give you solid numbers, and even if you were disappointed with that,
in fantasy football when he plays,
it's fabulous for touchdowns.
It's almost, for
one
reliability.
every other game, isn't it?
Yeah,
for touchdowns. And not only that, we've got Mike Williams. We've got Mike Wallace. We've got some players. Terrell Williams. There's players you could trust to come in and do a job, which is what we need.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's a good team. You'd be very happy with that. But we won't see that in a 16-man league. But I'm happy to get it in a 12-man.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, what do you think of the draft? Who would you pick differently? Is it a team you're fond of? Our actual wide receiver draft. Our 0 wide receiver draft from last year was probably the best team we drafted in any mock.
Any mock, yeah, by a mile.
And no one's really doing this strategy. So, I know, let us know what you think. Is it something you would like to try?
Yeah, let's hear it.
And please subscribe. That really helps us out. And like the video.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much for watching.
Excellent.